Today's issue is looking at flags and their symbolic power, as well as the influence that they can have on different historical perspectives and on foreign relations themselves. Looking at recent incidents, in 2015, after a fatal shooting of 9 African Americans in South Carolina in the United States by a white supremacist, debates over whether or not it is appropriate to use the Confederate flag emerged. And in 2015 and 2016, in New Zealand, there were also debates over their national flag and whether or not to remove the Union Jack, since this was reminiscent of British colonial influence. In 2019, a Chinese civil group, and in 2020, South Korea requested to Japan that they ban the use of the rising sun flag at the Olympics. In this region, one symbol that is controversial is the rising sun flag of Japan. And in recent times, South Korea has been more vocal about their protests against use of the rising sun flag. Historically, if we look at the Japanese rising sun flag, this flag was used by feudal warlords in Japan during the Edo period from about 1608 to 1868. And then during the Meiji period following thereafter, it was used as the imperial Japanese war flag. And so from 1870 to the end of World War II, this was the Japanese imperial war flag. So what's the big deal about the use of this flag? The controversy over this flag in South Korea and in other former territories of the Japanese Empire is that for many, the use of the Japanese rising sun flag evokes fear and is a reminder of a time of oppression and violence and death. And they feel that use of this flag means that Japan is not willing to confront their past and to address these issues head on. So how can we approach this controversy? Well, if we look at the historical facts, after Japan's surrender in 1945, they lost their military capability. And it wasn't until after 1954 the Japan Self-Defense Forces was established. And from this time on, the Japanese rising sun flag was used as the naval flag. But the fact of the matter is that this is not the Japanese national flag, and it is different. So in conclusion, this is not a denial of personal or national history or one's ability to express themselves. But since flags are powerful and can convey these meanings, we should be careful as to what these flags are conveying to other people and what they express and how they are perceived by others. Because during the Japanese imperial period, there were many other countries, not just South Korea, but in China and the Philippines and Myanmar and other areas that suffered great oppression and violence as a result. And this is because the purpose is to try to promote a better understanding and harmony and to treat each other with respect rather than to incite ire and to divide.